When did everybody start becoming anti-Israel? All this anti-Semitism that's coming around now. Now, I knew it was a problem. There are so many people that are anti-Semitic in this country, but the last couple of years, it has been at an all-time high. So much so that you have sick, twisted people killing Israeli embassy staff members in the street for being Jewish.
An apparent targeted attack leaves 2 Israeli embassy staffers dead in Washington, D.C., and raises concerns around the world. The suspect was arrested at the scene. The victims have been identified as Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Milgrim. The FBI says it is investigating a motive and possible ties to terrorism in the attack.
Now, I don't want to blame all of this on the Democrats, but I'm going to blame a lot of it on the Democrats. And here's why. A lot of this anti-Semitism, in my opinion, started when Hamas and some of the Palestinian militia groups killed 1,200 Israelis and took 250 hostages. So what do you expect Netanyahu to do? Okay, I just don't understand. If anybody were to attack America like that, right? If anybody were to attack America like that, do you think Trump would say, hold on, guys, all right, we've been bombing you for a week, let's call it truce? Do you think that would happen? Or do you think that country would be destroyed? Now, these pro-Palestinian people, it really makes me mad to see the stuff that they're doing, all across our country. And you literally have people who aren't even from this country, burning the American flags. I mean, if you see these Jewish kids, I feel so terrible for them. They're on these college campuses. And what happened to these great universities that are now just destroyed? Harvard University just destroyed. Yale just destroyed. You have all these pro-Palestinian people literally blocking these Jewish kids from going to school. They can't even go to their school or their campus or wherever they're going without getting blocked, without getting a Palestinian flag waved in their face, without them getting bullied. These Jewish kids are getting bullied every single day on campus. And it was happening for so many years under Biden and Kamala. Biden and Kamala didn't do anything. And now you have Donald Trump and the Republicans coming in, which are trying to put a stop to all this anti-Semitism, all this bullying stuff that's going on these campuses. And now all of a sudden we're the bad guys. We're the racists. Which makes me so mad because I would feel like if there were anybody that would come to the Jewish people's aid, it'd be black people. Black people cry racism so much in this country. If you sneeze too loud, you're racist. Did you sneeze in a white napkin? You should have sneezed in a black napkin. You're racist. Hey, I stubbed my toe the other day. Well, did you stub it on a black couch? Oh, racist. Wait, what? Black people are throwing the word racist around like it's the word like it's candy. But when Jewish people are literally getting attacked every single day, whether it's anti-Semitism or it's actually violent attacks, black people are silent. So much so that you literally have Kanye West, okay? Kanye West, who makes this song. I don't know if you guys have heard this song. I'm not going to play it or anything like that. But if you have not heard this song, it's literally N-word, hail, you know who. N-word, hail, you know who. Could you imagine if there was a white country artist out there that said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a song about black people. And that song is going to be called Hang 'em in a Tree. Or Feed 'em Chicken and Watermelon. Could you imagine the hate? First of all, he wouldn't even be allowed in this country. But yet the Democratic news media, ABC, CNN, all these people don't talk about how Kanye West is so anti-Semitic. He literally made a song called N-word, hail, H, you know who. How is that allowed in that country? And you have, sure, you have this big debate right now, which is not a debate, where you have this freedom of speech and hate speech. I want everybody to understand, freedom of speech, you can say whatever you want to. Hate speech is when you're talking about violent attacks against someone. Hate speech is not allowed. Violent rhetoric is not allowed. You can say that you hate Joe Biden all you want to, but as soon as you cross that line and say you want something bad to happen to Joe Biden, you're going to have Secret Service knock on the door. There are people in this country, pro-Palestinian people in this country, who want the Israeli people to be no more, who want Jewish people to be no more. And yet you get mad at Trump for bombing Iran the way he did? And this is the crazy thing that I hate about, some of these black Democrats. It is that whenever there was a BLM, first of all, BLM was an absolute joke. I've said this many of times. BLM was an absolute joke, one of the worst wastes of time. All they did was riot and loot and destroy cop cars and assault and steal, and that's all they did. Did they get back to those communities? Did they say, hey, I know we did billions of dollars of damage all across the country. Here's our way of giving back. No, they embezzled all the money. Well, I mean, one lady bought a few houses, paid her brother $800,000 or whatever that number was to be her personal security. It's insane, all the money that they embezzled. So if you donate it to BLM, I feel sorry for you, because that money is gone. It's unfortunately, you helped someone buy a house. That's what that money went to. But when black people are crying racism 24/7, you would think when they see a Jewish person being attacked, when they see a Jewish person, having these slurs thrown at them and being physically attacked, you think they would come to their aid. I know during the BLM riots and all the marches and stuff like that, there weren't just black people marching in the street. There were Hispanics people, there were Jewish people, there were white people, there were all types of people helping the BLM people. But now we're the Jewish people. They need help. Right now, the Jewish people need more help than anybody because their hate is at an all-time high. And the news media is quiet. Black people in this country are quiet. I hope that people understand how fickle the black Democrats in this country are. When they need your help, they'll say, oh, you're racist. You don't support us. You're racist. But when you need their help, they're quiet. Did any black celebrity, Beyonce, any of these black celebrities, shut down Kanye West when he made that song? Did they say, how dare he, attack the Jewish people in that song? Did Obama say anything? Did Michelle Obama say anything about Kanye West in that song? And this is the problem that I have, this Jasmine Crockett girl. I don't know what's going on with her. At first I thought, she was just going to be a little mouthpiece. I don't know if the Democrats are pushing her to be the new nominee in 2028. I thought it was going to be Gavin Newsom, but, he's so terrible in California. Who knows now? California's a dumpster fire, so who knows? But maybe it is. Maybe they're going to push the cool, hip black woman, to be the Democratic nominee. I thought they did learn their lesson with Kamala that you can't just, use someone's color and say, hey, here you go, here's a job. That didn't work with Kamala. She was awful. Now you have, Jasmine.
I am tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, you are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder.
All the stuff that she says, the old white man this and the white man that and the white man, and they chose a white man and all this white stuff. Could you imagine if a white congressman, a senator, said, they chose that old black kid over there. That black kid down the street? Yeah, they chose him. That old black man, yeah, they hired him. Could you imagine? The double standard right now is crazy. For her to sit there and her and AOC to sit there and say, Donald Trump didn't go through me. He didn't get congressional approval. Do you know that Joe Biden literally did the same thing? Joe Biden bombed Syria. Barack Obama bombed Libya. Was anybody calling for their impeachment? What Democrat was calling for their impeachment? But because the Democrats hate Trump so much, they literally want Iran to have nuclear weapons. Understand, Israel is our friend. And I don't know where all this Netanyahu and all this Israel hate came from. They're literally surrounded by terrorists, okay? The population of Iran is 92 million, and you have Israel that has a population of like 7 to 8 million, okay? There's such a small little area that you have all these people wishing to do Israel harm. And yet they're our greatest ally in the Middle East, okay? Our greatest ally in the Middle East. And of course, America is going to come to their defense. But it's not just a Republican thing. Bill Clinton has said this, that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons at all. Hillary Clinton has said this. Barack Obama has said this. Every Democrat who is in a position of leadership has said the same thing, that Iran never have a nuclear weapon. And when Donald Trump decides to take action, and says, I'm going to make sure that Iran's nuclear program gets set back years. And he does what he does, and he unleashes bombs. These Democrats lose their mind. It's like the Democrats want Trump to lose so bad that they're actually on the side of Iran. They're actually on the side of these illegal immigrants. They're actually on the side of these people who assault officers and everything like that. Donald Trump is trying to make America great, and I know he's getting so much hate, but he made a call. And I'm sick of these people, and I used to really love Candace Owens. I don't know, I still do in some ways, but I don't know where all this anti-Semitism and, her hatred for Netanyahu, I don't know where that came from, but there are just so many things where I'm like, okay, I understand that Netanyahu is in a position where he needs America's assistance because America is the number one superpower in the world, okay? The world. Being the president of the United States is the number one job in the world. Okay? And Donald Trump has that on his shoulders. So when he sees people fighting and he's trying to get a ceasefire and he's trying to get these people to stop bombing, you saw him the other day. I mean, look how upset Donald Trump is after he announced this ceasefire. And then Iran, hit Israel, and then Israel hit, Iran back. Look at this comment that he has to say.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
Donald Trump is doing what he needs to do in order to ensure Israel's existence and safety. Okay? He did what he sent the clear message to Iran. Could you imagine if Kamala Harris was the president right now? Oh my gosh, what a disaster that would be. Could you imagine? She would literally, I don't even know how much of a disaster it would be, but she literally would say, hey guys, hey Netanyahu, Kamani, let's meet together and let's try to get Starbucks and let's try to talk it out. Let's talk this out, guys. She would have no idea what she's doing. You finally have a president in Donald Trump who is ensuring not only Israel's safety, but existence and making sure that Iran and all of our enemies, I think this was a message not just to Iran, but this is a message to all of America's enemies, that we are not afraid to do what we need to do in order to make sure our allies are safe and to make sure we are safe. And now, guess what? He did what he did with Iran. Iran's nuclear program is set back years, and now Iran and Israel are in a ceasefire without one American casualty. That is how good of a job our United States military did. That is how good of a job Donald Trump is doing, good of a job that Pete is doing, a good of a job Marco Rubio is doing. All the people in the Trump administration are doing their part. And this is what America first looks like. Strength. This was a message. Iran, you're not going to have nuclear weapons. We told you this. And now you're set back for years. Don't mess with Israel. Israel, for everybody out there, they are our friends. The Jewish people are our friends. They are our family members. And when now we have all this stuff happening in home, the Jewish people are literally like, guys, who's going to come to our defense right now? And thank God you have Trump in office right now, because if Kamala was in office, she would not say anything about these attacks. She would allow these kids in college campuses to keep attacking these Jewish kids. I'm glad Donald Trump is making a stance and saying, hey, look, we're going to take away your money. If you don't get these kids under control that are bullying all these Jewish kids, we're going to take away your money. Anti-Semitism right now is at an all-time high. Anti-Israel hate is at an all-time high. I'm glad Donald Trump did what he did in order to ensure Israel's safety. They are our friends. They are our brothers. We need them. They are our allies in the Middle East, okay? But now in home, I hope the Jewish people understand that it is the Republican Party that is going to make sure that all the stuff, all the anti-Semitism that's going around, we'll say something about it. We want to make it known. We want people to make sure that it is addressed and it stops. The Democrats don't care. The Democrats, for some reason, are pro-Palestine. When did that happen? All the Democrats are pro-Palestine. You literally have Jewish people being killed. You have people making Molotov cocktails and injuring dozens of people. This is crazy. And it's because the Democrats don't speak up. The Jewish people cannot be getting attacked like this. It needs to stop. And I hope they realize that the Republican Party is the only party that has your back, because the Democrats don't have your back whatsoever. They are on the side of Palestinian people. They're on the side of Iran. And you can see that after the reaction of what happened when Trump bombed Iran. Instead of saying, hey, you know what? Donald Trump did a good thing. I normally don't agree with what he says, but I know he did a good thing by making sure they don't have a nuclear program. And I know they did a good thing by making sure Netanyahu and Israel, the nation, is secure and they're safe. They don't care about Israel. They don't care about their safety. The Democrats care about what's trendy. They want to be cool. What's cool right now? The young kids want pro-Palestine. Okay, guys, we're going to be trendy. We're going to wave our Palestinian flags. Yet they forget our Jewish and brothers and sisters out there that are being killed in the middle of the street. And that's not even a joke. That's what's happening. I hope everybody pays attention to this, what's going on in this country.